Hey guys, what is up? It is Chris from Gentleman's Gaming, and I'm here to bring you kind of a little bit of a DayZ. I wouldn't consider it tips and tricks, kind of just getting started. I'm kind of a fan of the DayZ Standalone, and I'm kind of enjoying it, and I'm also a little bit frustrated by it, by some of the stuff that's happening from it, and also the fact that it's a very enjoyable game, and I played the the Arma 2 mod quite a bit. So, as you can see, this is my character right now. I'm actually pretty stacked at the moment. I have a Mosin, which has like some kind of Vietnam jungle camo, and it's weird. But kind of the first thing I wanted to do is kind of show you my settings. I'm playing on a 1080p monitor, so obviously this is very, very good quality. There's 4 different tabs that help you kind of navigate between video, rendering, resolution, and stuff like that. All these tabs kind of help you do that in reference to your aspect ratio and stuff like that, what type of field of view you want, terrains and textures, how much video memory that you want to be using. I always set mine on auto because sometimes it doesn't always recognize that you have 2 gig of memory on a video card, so I always put that on that. Quality settings, I usually have these on low for terrain and stuff like that because they're not really a factor, and they also bring down the frame rate quite a bit. I was recording here at 30 frames, and I was getting 30 frames at the airstrip that I was at, so I was actually very impressed. So, kind of, that was just my settings real quick, just to show you guys, just to see what I was running. Like I said, I'm running on a pretty beefy rig, so it's pretty good. My rig is pretty good, like I said. So, I want to just hop in real quick and show you guys some of the basics right now. The server I play on, it's right there if you guys want to play with me. It's No Pants Guy, so obviously I was going to pick that server. It's kind of funny. So, this is the kind of situation that I'm in right now. I'm in a house in an area that's pretty hot for confrontation with players and a big loot spot. It's called Balota Airfield, and it's kind of on the kind of southwestern part of Chernarus, which is the main map. As you can see on this map overlay right now, that's where it is located in the main scheme of things. It's located on the southwest part, directly west from Cherno. Actually, you saw some in this video. You'll see some of the international hotels, those creepy-looking hotels on the side of Cherno, in the distance. So, kind of my strategy for this place, I always like looking at the terrain of the area, always when I'm going into a high-value place. So, as you can see here, this is pretty much an overlay of the area we're going to be dealing with. And pretty much what we got is the main town, which really doesn't have much in it. As you can see, kind of to the left of the screen, there are 3 barracks that are located inside the actual airfield itself. And then on the right there, you have 1 prison, which usually has a couple nice spawns and stuff like that. And then just to the right, out of frame, there's a air traffic control tower, which usually spawns some really nice stuff. I actually, in this video, got an SKS and some rounds for it, so that was pretty nice. So the path that I usually like to take when navigating this airfield and getting to the barracks and stuff like that is this path right here, which is highlighted in green, which shows that I usually go under the broken out fence, or kind of concrete divider? I don't know what you would call it. When you guys see it, you see it. But this is the path I usually take, going through the barracks, going to the fire station. I don't cross the airfield in this video because there's players and I really didn't want to get shot. And usually going to the air traffic control tower. So what I usually do in these areas, I deal with 2 or 3 zombies in this game. They've really amped up the zombies. I remember in the beginning of the alpha, there wasn't many zombies. They kind of hyped that out with this new patch. So what I usually do when dealing with the airfields like this is I always like to be very, very cautious, because airfields are normally known for spawning in pretty good loot, and they attract the majority of players that are to the cities. Now this airfield is kind of the more well-known airfield because it's on the shore, it's located just to the west of Cherno, and it's also, literally, it's on the shore, so it's next to the 2 major cities. Now, in this situation I have right now, I'm doing a little strategy where I'm going up. As you can see, the doors were shut, but I looked into the barracks, and I see all the doors are open, which means that somebody has clearly closed the door, but he's looted the inner rooms, meaning that there's not going to be a lot of good loot. So pretty much what I'm doing now is I'm abandoning kind of searching the barracks, because I know that it's futile going through all of those barracks because it would just be a waste of time, considering I'm kind of stacked at the moment. So as you can see, I found it very funny that I was doing this. I was dealing with another zombie on a place I really shouldn't have dealt with a zombie, because I was kind of clenching my toes the entire time I was running right here. If you don't play DayZ, I do recommend getting the standalone, or if you don't want to fork out I think it's $30, You could probably get Arma 2, and the mod is still perfectly playable. It's very good. But if you do have the $30, I would recommend forking the money out for the standalone, because it is a good game. Although it is an alpha, and there's a kind of a crap ton of bugs at the moment. It's an alpha. It's to be expected. I honestly think the game is in good hands with Dean Hall and Bohemia putting out the patches that they are doing, and enough with that, but let's do strategy. So right now I'm in the jail, which is a very good loot spot. I see, as you can see here, I found a really nice engraved 1911. I don't expect it, but it's a pretty nice piece. It was a real shame I didn't find a mag for it. So pretty much the jail is known for spawning food, water, a gun here or there, usually handguns. I haven't seen rifles or anything spawned in at fire stations. With the new patch that's come out, which I'm actually very glad for, M4s no longer spawn at airstrips anymore. They spawn at, heli crash sites now. So the days of kind of everybody having an M4 is kind of over. You're using rifles now, like I have the Mosin or the SKS. M4s are somewhat rare now, so it's very good now. So what I'm doing here is just putting up basic loot. I repaint my Mosin pretty much, and that's pretty much all that I'm doing here, is finding some loot and trying not to get my ass shot off. I'm sorry if this seems very redundant for you guys, but this is kind of just basic information, stuff like that I don't know, maybe you guys know, maybe you guys don't know, but if you do play DayZ, this is very risky, and a lot of players visit the airfields, and doesn't that Mosin just look beautiful? Just reminds me of some jungle camo. But anyway, if you don't play the DayZ mod much, you probably don't know how I say kind of in this situation, how dangerous going to this airfield is, or any of the airfields, be it northwest, northeast, this airfield. It's very, very dangerous. There's usually a lot of people, and it usually comes to times where people get shot, people get killed, and you have to walk all the way across the map. So pretty much what I find is some basic loot, a mag or two. I didn't find an M. I thought that was a 1911 mag, which I was kind of overjoyed about, but I didn't find much. I'm assuming since those barracks were looted that most likely somebody's come through here already and taken most of the loot, or any loot that's normally come through here. I'm not sure. I don't know why I inspected the duct tape. It's not like there's anything special about that. It's duct tape. If it's not moving, use duct tape. I don't know why I inspected that duct tape there. Whatever. But pretty much that's the strategy at these airfields, is pretty much try and stay low, try to stay in cover, and try to stay out of sight lines where people can shoot you. Because what most people do when they go to these airfields is they usually just run down straight the airstrip, like what I'm looking at right now, and they expect to get away. Usually at these airfields there are people with, well, before what I just said with the M4, there's usually people with M4s, combat armor, combat helmets, everything, from what I've seen going to these airfields. So it's pretty dangerous. I'm actually surprised I didn't run into anybody. I don't know if you guys will hear it in the video, but I did hear some shots coming from the military camp that's just outside of town. So I don't know if you guys will pick that up, or I don't know if you guys, I don't know. So pretty much what I'm doing here is going from hangar to hangar, and I'm checking in between just to make sure if there's anybody, sneaking up on me, or anybody that's trying to loot the airfield. And as I told you in the beginning, those are the 6. I believe the 7th one is being obscured. The international hotel, not the international hotel, the hotels on the outskirts of Cherno. So, like I said, Balota is very close to Cherno, so it's a hot spot for activity. Well, it's an airfield. It's always going to be a hotspot for activity because there's military loot here, military gear, weapons, ammo, everything. So right here, this is the air traffic control tower, which I was mentioning before, where, as you can see there, yeah, there it is. There's an SKS on the floor. Like I said, airstrips are always known to spawn weapons and stuff like that. I haven't seen rifles spawn in the jail. I think I've seen the SKS, and I found a Mosin in the air traffic control tower, and there's a convenient box of ammo. I found that very funny that that SKS was on the floor. I didn't have any 7.60 by 39 ammo, so that was kind of lucky. But the main trick that I do is when I find 2 rifles is, the trick is that you have to kind of holster your one rifle and you pick up with your hands the second rifle. But the thing is with that is that every time you want to go for a drink or have something to eat, or even just like I do earlier in the thing, I move to get a zombie. It's pretty much what you have to do is you have to drop the SKS and pick it back up again once you're done. And that reload. I have to admit, they did a very good job on the animations in this game, and they're adding new animations and stuff with the new weapons, so that's pretty nice. But like I was saying earlier, you have to put down the weapon every time you take a drink, or like I was doing later on in the thing, hitting a zombie with a fire axe. Every time that you take it out of your hands, you have to pick it back up again, and that'll keep those 2 weapons in your inventory when you log back in again. So that's kind of a little bit of a nice trick, especially if you're giving a gun to a buddy, or you having a partner that just spawned in, you're going to give him a rifle that has ammo in it, which is kind of nice. Considering this game is very cruel to death in DayZ mod, it was very easy to get back your stuff. There was vehicles and helicopters you can easily hitch a ride. Say you died in Balota and you spawned up at the Northwestern Airfield, that's a half an hour walk. So this game is very cruel to that death is, it completely resets you. There's pretty much no way of getting your gear back unless the person that shot at you doesn't loot your body, which in every single case people loot bodies. So it's very, very hard and cruel to people that die. So that's why I'm always very cautious when playing this game. I don't consider it as realistic. I say realistic. There's many meanings of the word realistic. I would think of a realistic game that is when you, like, say in this game, Arma, or just Arma in general, a realistic first-person shooter, that if you got shot at all, depending on where you got shot, you wouldn't be able to play your character. Like, unless it was, like, a minor wound, you wouldn't be able to play your character for, say, 3 months. Because of you having to recover from a gunshot wound and then having to be retrained, because this is obviously a military shooter. So, and I find realistic as this, if you got killed, your game just straight out blocks you out. You can't play the game ever again, or you have to start over a new character completely fresh, say, 6 months from now. I consider that realistic, but there's no way in any way that would actually be a game, because nobody would buy it if they knew mechanics like that existed. That's why there's respawns. That's why there's Call of Duty. I hate to put the boot on another video game franchise, but that's kind of the case. But like I was mentioning earlier, as you noticed, my SKS dropped on the floor as I put out my fire axe, because this is a heavy area I didn't want to shoot. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this little tips and tricks video. It was a very long video. I'm clocking in now. It's actually 13 minutes now. It's actually a very long video. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this little kind of tips and tricks tutorial. I think I'll be doing this a little bit of a series of assaulting different kind of key points. Me and Skylar, who play this game, we'll be making a video about how we assault the Northwestern Airfield, which is an even hotter airfield, or I say hot, a more dangerous airfield than this. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you guys in the next one.